My question is regarding the document that was supposed to be on display to look at. My question concerning it is what provisions were they made to fund or to handle the court decree stating that we must pay back the city of Chicago. It's money that was paid at one time over a period of time, and something happened to it. Chicago sued us and won a settlement saying that we have to pay that money back. So where is it going to come from as far as the document that's being submitted for the appropriations to do so? I haven't seen anything in there that was to address it.
Mr. Nunn, as you know, the roughly $14 million that was about to the initial amount that we owe the city of Chicago was on the past due water bills that relate back to prior to August of 2014. They go all the way back to, I believe, about 2011 of unpaid bills. The principal amount when we entered into the settlement agreement was $18 million, of which there was approximately $4 million paid on the principal, which left an outstanding balance of $14 million. You don't re-budget for that because you've already budgeted for it. In essence, that $14 million will be paid back with the annual surpluses. For instance, the water fund surplus, budgeted surplus for 2017 is $3 million, $3.1 million. That $3.1 million of profit basically will be paid to the city of Chicago. And basically what it means is the profits for the next 5 years will go toward paying that balance in arrears. I also would say this, again, in budgeting, we always conservatively estimate revenues, which means we don't act like we're going to go way over what we have been collecting in previous years. In this case, water fund revenues were $17 million for fiscal 16, $18 million for fiscal 19, $18 million for fiscal 17, and we're projecting only $19 million for fiscal 18. And basically that's just accounting for the 2% water increase that the city of Chicago did. But what we don't do is we've got roughly about $800,000 of past due bills that we are aggressively trying to collect. But that's actually revenue for other years. So with the profits and the increased revenues and things like that, we anticipate that we'll be able to pay off the city of Chicago over the next 5 years from just those services.
What's the procedure for doing so? That's my question.
It's really not a procedure. It's what happens when, in essence, the city of Chicago is a loan. The only way you pay loans back is with profit. Okay?
So that's where the money's coming from?
Yes.
Profits?
Yes. Of which last year were about $3 million. This year they're going to be about $3 million. And it's not that outrageous when you think about we've already paid back $4 million of those principal payments already.
But I think the general consensus of the citizenry is that what happened to the original money that was supposed to have been paid? We got bills that we go back at least 5 or 6 years showing that we paid the money that Chicago is suing us for. What happened to it?
That money went toward covering general fund deficits, period. There were capital improvements that weren't necessarily budgeted for. And to be honest with you, again, my analysis in hindsight, what happened to the money is one of the things we've done that doesn't increase anybody's water bill and things like that is we're discovering water meters. We in a process now that we already started with Ingalls Hospital, where we're going to replace their meters. So like I said, so revenue for the last 2 years has gone up. Revenue over last year went up $2 million, and we didn't increase the rates at all But what happens is we make sure that all customers are paying for the water that they're receiving. That had not necessarily been happening. We had been billing only for about 70% of the water we bought from the city of Chicago. Now, a 15% leak factor would be reasonable, but not a 30% leak factor. So what we've done is we've closed the loop on water that we're buying that we weren't necessarily billing for. We're also reviewing all the municipal contracts because we don't think our rates to the other municipalities have kept up with our costs over and above the cost of purchasing water from Chicago. So I think in the next fiscal year you will see a real improvement in that area.
That's your response? Okay.
Can you talk about the increases that the city of Chicago has placed on us over the last 7-8 years?
Yeah, well, I could just talk about this. Again, people have heard me say this before. Since 2000, the city of Chicago went up on the water rates to the suburban communities 199%. We can just round that because 199 is 200%. And I can tell you this, they did not always pass those water rates on. I know people think their water bills have gone up a lot, but if you pull out your 2000 bill, and I'm sure some people have it, you look at the rate there, you will look and see that the rate, as a matter of fact, you will look at that rate and see that that rate, your bill has not gone up 200%. And remember, that 200% you got compounded. Okay? And you'll see that your rates have gone up. So this mayor and other mayors obviously did not pass all those rate increases from the city of Chicago on to the citizens of Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there any more questions or concerns? Now we move for adjournment. Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky?
Yes.
Alderman Whittington? Alderman Clark? Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Aye.
And Alderman Price?
Yes.
Motion carried. Close.
At this time, we will move to the City of Harvey's regular city council meeting, Monday, August 28, 2017, 7 o'clock. We need a roll call of council members.
Alderwoman Lewinsky?
Present.
Alderman Whittington? Alderman Clark? Alderman Key?
Present.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Present.
Alderman Price? Thank you.
This time, move to an invocation. We'd ask, I'm sorry. We just moved to presentations. There's no presentation tonight? It's time to move to city clerk report.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody? There you go. Who said that? All right. All right. I just want to say thanks to all of you for coming in and showing that you are sincerely concerned with our community. And I just want to thank you for coming tonight. Just a few details. And this is actually and I'm not going to have no report. I'm just going to give a few details. I would like to say to the mayor, city council, executive officers, and all who has material for the city clerk's office, please get the material by the Thursday before our next regular scheduled meeting. I had previously given out notices pertaining to this, and it seems as if nobody has them. So once again, I would just like for everybody to be concerned about the correctness of the paperwork that you received from the clerk's office. Thanking you in advance, City Clerk Nancy L. Clark. To the citizens, this is a public notice. City Hall will be closed Monday, September the 4th, 2017, in observance of Labor Day. Have an enjoyable and safe holiday. Thank you very much, Mayor Eric J. Kellogg, City Clerk Nancy L. Clark. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This time we move to approval minutes dated Monday, August 14, 2017. What's the pleasure of the council? Motion for approval of minutes. Move. Second. Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky? Yes. Alderman Whittington? Alderman Clark? Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Aye.
Alderman Price?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Kellogg?
Yes.
Motion carried.
This time I certainly just want to take a moment to acknowledge the victims in Houston with respect to Hurricane Harvey. And so we could just take a moment in your own special way and just acknowledge God and send a prayer out for those that are experiencing the effects of Hurricane Harvey. Prior to moving forward, I certainly would ask that as we conduct the business of the city, that you would have your undivided attention, so that the aldermen, as well as the department heads here of the agenda, would ask that you refrain from the excessive talking, so that we can get through this agenda tonight. So at this point, we move to item number 8, approval bills dated Monday, August 28, 2017. President Council.
Ask for approval of $1,825,695 and 89 cents.
Second one.
I'm sorry, it was, I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. Nesbitt motion and Price seconded. Alderwoman Lewinsky? No. Alderman Whittington?
No.
Alderman Clark? Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Yes.
Alderman Price?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and Mayor Kellogg?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Motion carried.
This time we will move to special presentation. We have a new officer that needs to be sworn in tonight. And I would ask that Deputy Chief Neal and Deputy Chief Thomas, along with the new officer that's going to be sworn in, if you can provide the details. We'll move to the center.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, citizens. We're proud to announce, unfortunately, let me say this, unfortunately, we do have 2 K-9s. I just got a phone call. Our other K-9 officer had a serious family emergency, so we'll take care of that one on our next City Council meeting. But I'm proud to announce our newest member, 4-legged member of the Harvey Police Department, Neil. How old is Neil? Bob. I'm sorry, Bob won't be here. Bob. How old is Bob? He just turned a year. Bob just turned a year old. Bob has went through a rigorous training course along with his handler, Officer Kent, who's been with us for some time. Bob is a dual-purpose dog, which means he's not only trained in tracking, crowd control, narcotic detection. Bob has been involved in numerous narcotic arrests since his time on the streets. I just learned, 2 weeks ago, he's actually apprehended a felon already. So Bob has been an aggressive part of our force, and we look forward to the citizens of this great city seeing them working. I do want to say this. I want to say this. I know we look at him and he's furry, he's cute, and he's an animal, but Bob is not a pet. So I have to say that he's actually a working member of the police force. So I'm saying that to say this: if you see these canines, please do not assume that you can just come up to them and pat them. I'm actually this close, and I'm this close off permission. These dogs are very, very, very defensive of their handler. They're very well trained. They're very obedient. They're some social animals, but they're social off this officer's command. So don't assume because you see the dogs you come pet them, because certainly we wouldn't want them to assume you're trying to harm their handler and they attack you. But they are trained attack dogs as well. These dogs have been utilized to search certain abandoned residents. Once again, they are used in tracking. We just used one this weekend to canvass some wooded areas on an investigation. And like I said, we have two. I'm certain we'll have Neo here on our next city council. So without further ado, Madam Clerk.
Okay, thank you. Officer Gap, once again, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me for Officer Bob. I, Officer Bob, will uphold the Constitution of the State of Illinois in the City of Harvey, and I will be diligently doing the duties of police dog. So help me God. Okay, thank you so much. Officer Bob.
Just a little brief on this program. This is once again, this program is reinitiated. A few years ago, we had a K9 program. It expired. City Police Department has spent upwards of $70,000 investment in these dogs. The dogs itself for training was about $20,000. There was vehicle purchase, the outfit of the vehicles, and then the uptake of the dogs. So once again, I'm proud of the work that the dogs have done thus far. They work, what is it, 10-hour shift they work? 12-hour shift? They work 12-hour shifts with them. They're here. They actually go home with these officers. They're part of their household. Once again, if you see these dogs, please don't assume they're pets. We do have some scheduled programs where we can take the dogs inside of the schools and show them to the students when they're ready. But this is Bob, the other dog is Leo. Leo will be here on the next city council. Thank you. Also, the Harvey Police Department is in the process of purchasing more vehicles for the fleets. Last week alone, there was 5 new vehicles purchased. There was 2 Ford Explorer SUVs and 3 Tauruses. These vehicles you'll be seeing, they're in the process now of being outfitted. Our detective division will be assigned some of these vehicles. One of the vehicles, the idea is to make that vehicle a crime scene investigation vehicle, which means it'll be outfitted with the latest technology and processing crime scenes. So it'll be a more faster response as it relates to lifting fingerprints and finding DNA. And we're in the process right now of having those vehicles outfitted for that assignment. Oh, I don't want to share the commands. There are certain commands. I believe this dog was trained in German. Is that correct? This dog was trained in German, so this officer had to learn certain German commands. I won't go over the commands. Just because we don't want people riding around saying these commands and attempting to lure the dog. But once again, I know Bob. I'm pleased. The very first night these dogs were introduced to the streets, we worked a street suppression assignment and I believe it was a club assignment that going on that night. And that night in particular, the very first night the dogs was out there, they detected and hit on some narcotics, which was able to make some arrests. These dogs, once again, we want to put the word out that we have them. We believe that when people know that this city has 2 trained narcotic dogs, that they come to our town, transporting narcotics, they'll bypass our exit. They'll go past 147 exit, get off 159th, and make another jurisdictional issue. But it is our job to deter crime. It is our responsibility to provide the citizens with the latest technology and the latest, and you can say this, four-legged abilities to fight crime. So we really want to let the citizens know, you know, it is our job to deter crime, deter the sales of narcotics and other things in our towns. And even for those guys who feel it's easy to flee from the police, once again, these dogs are trained to track. So you can run 6 blocks, 7 blocks, a mile, mile and a half. This dog will pick up your trail and will lead us right to where you're at. Once again, Officer Kent and you'll meet Officer Matthews, the next city council are, how long was the training again?
8 weeks.
8 weeks training. They went through an 8-week training. The dogs pretty much trained when they got the dogs. The 8-week training was so the officers could become familiar with the dog. They call it marrying them, and they learn the commands, and the dogs learn them. And after the 8 weeks training, there was a continuous training. Once a week, they go so the dogs can stay refreshed on all their commands and training. So there's always a continuous training with these dogs. These dogs are never isolated without training. I spoke with the certifier. When these dogs, when they got certified, it was told to me that these were 2 of the best dogs they certified in a very long time. A very long time. And I just learned from Bob that doing some of his bike training, that the certifier said that Bob has one of the strongest bites he's felt in a while. They use a bite sleeve. So we got 2 very, very young dogs. This dog has just made a year. I believe the other one's a year and a half, maybe. Right. Year and a half. So service life is anywhere from 7 to 10 years. So hopefully these dogs will be around for a very long time. They'll be outfitted with bulletproof and style-proof vests for very high-risk incidents. And once again, we're proud to bring them to the force, and hopefully they'll provide the service that we pay for.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
This time we move to the mayor's report. This is some pictures from our back-to-school kickoff. Certainly want to thank Alderman Nelson Price for participating in the back-to-school kickoff. More importantly, I want to thank Ms. Lewis and my department heads who did a tremendous job of coordinating the entire event. Some pictures of some of the kids showing the diversity of our community. Again, this is our annual book bag giveaway so that we can ensure that the kids in our great city will be well prepared for the school as it opens. Just some of the individuals that were at the back-to-school kickoff. As you can see, a large number of bags that we gave away to the students. As characters, I certainly want to thank Mrs. Daphne for assisting in bringing some of the characters that were very involved in the back-to-school giveaway, and certainly the Blue Angels under the direction of Alderman Nesbitt did another fantastic job. I'd like you to just take a look at this particular slide, because this is going to transform the city of Harvey with respect to economic development. If you look at the Chinese connection, it's going to be almost $10 billion invested over 2,100 jobs, just to name a few. So that the question becomes, why Chicago? And those are just some of the points that they talked about with respect to the transportation hub, Midway Airport, things of that nature. When you put Mayor Rahm Emanuel and myself with respect to this particular project, Chicago leads the world with respect to the Chinese real estate investment, and Harvey will lead the Southland economic recovery. So again, this project stands to be over $23 million with respect to our property taxes. When you look at the old particular parcel that's going to be developed by the China Gateway project, it's it's going to change the entire landscape with respect to bringing in property taxes and jobs to our great city. So this is a great opportunity to begin transformation and revitalization of the city of Harvey. These are just two letters that I sent to the Honorable Tony Preckwinkle, as well as Deborah Sims. I'm just thanking them for this collaborative initiative, but more importantly, having the wisdom and the insight to look at the Chicago, Cook County, and Harvey connection. So I certainly want to let them know how the city of Harvey was in full support of this particular Chicago-China Gateway project. Because again, it's going to change the entire Southland. Again, the Chicago-China Gateway. So why Harvey? As you know, we have intermodal transportation hub, interstates, 94, 57, I-80. But again, we have CNN Railroad. So again, Harvey we sit right in the middle of, I like to call it the crossroads of America. So now we have the opportunity to really become a major player throughout the world from a global perspective. This letter is a letter that I sent to Alderman Nesbitt and Alderman Price with respect to providing them some update with respect to the Chicago-China Gateway project. I informed them about the meeting that took place with Commissioner Sims, Reverend Lester, Mr. Williams, and Attorney Lewis, myself, but more importantly, Mrs. Lewis. Okay. And so again, this particular missive was just to provide them with an update with regard to what took place in the meeting, to give them some kind of background. But more importantly, the facility will create over 100 jobs. And 50% of the jobs we put in the redevelopment agreement we want to go to Harvey. And so that's a major plus for the city of Harvey. So again, in closing out, I look forward to your continued support, your input, and your collaborative effort as we work to make our great city a place everyone can live, work, raise, and educate their children. So again, this Chicago-China Gateway project is going to change not only Harvey, but it's going to change the entire South Suburban Cook region. Again, just a little letter that I provided talking about some of the projects. I'm extremely encouraged about this development designed to bring economic sustainability and prosperity to our city, but more importantly to our region. When you look at Canadian Railroad, United Parcel Services, and Ford Transportation, how they continue to provide us with reports that demonstrate their commitment to minimizing the potential environmental risk to our community. I think it's very important that we hold those individuals responsible, because as they expand with respect to the intermodal, we want to make sure that they're minimizing any health and safety risks to the city. So again, this letter is something that I put in place to make sure that we are cognizant of monitoring the environmental policies of the Canadian National and others. friendly, but again, we want to continue to monitor any environmental risks. The Chicago-China Gateway project in conjunction with the City of Harvey could lead to the beginning of a steady flow of foreign investment to fuel the growth of our economy. So again, I'm very excited about this particular Chicago-China Gateway project. The aldermen should be excited, but more importantly, the citizens should be excited. This talks about our strategic location. Harvey is by far the most valuable location in the South County region. This project will prove beneficial to the entire South Suburban region, and certainly will become a catalyst to spark a transformation and revitalization that will bring the City of Harvey back and create upscale neighborhoods and commercial shopping areas. So again, this is the start of the revitalization of the downtown area. And so over the next couple of months, the citizens of Harvey will witness the physical and residual restoration and economic sustainability that will certainly improve the lives of all residents. So you should be very excited about this project.
Yes, sir.
Again, this is just some more detail with respect to the expansion of the intermodal and the industry. It speaks to we must continue to develop strict policies to address any potential environmental concerns. We must identify the potential impacts of increasing traffic and diesel emissions. So again, this is just something that I felt was very important as we began to have those intermodal and CNA and expand. We certainly wanted to monitor and manage the effect that it's going to have on the health of our great city. And so the safety management team, I had asked Deputy Chief Banks to pull together a safety management team so that we can begin to determine the purpose for the safety the training needs assessment, look at what effects it's having in the change in our community, gather data, analyze the data, and determine if any safety challenges can be addressed by training. Again, this is led by our outgoing chief of police, and he said this the purpose of the letter is to request the assistance of the Chicago Police Department's tactical training unit. Deputy Chief Banks or
I can speak, so I think Greg's in all the way.
okay.
The chief wanted us to get some training in terms of active shooter incidents, because obviously this is something that goes on all the time. Additionally, because of our search warrants and our contact with possible barricade subjects, it was important to not only get the training for the investigative unit, the tactical unit, but for the entire police department. So I reached out to the Deputy Chief of Education and Training over in Chicago. We partnered with them in the past, and they agreed to do a week-long training with the tactical training unit there in Chicago. In that week, we were able to get through 4 patrol platoons and our investigative unit. Some of the things that we covered were again, barricade subjects. We also did forced entry. We also did room clearing, team room clearing, and in some of the subsequent slides, you'll see just some of the training that we did over the course of last week. So that would have been last week. And the Harvey Police Department did an exceptional job in terms of preparedness, but sometimes you get training years prior and just need to continue to do in-service training, and that's what we did last week with CPD. So in just a few of the subsequent slides, you'll see some of the pictures from that week-long training. This here, the instructor was demonstrating a technique called slicing the pie. So you can get cover and distance, and where you can see around the corner without exposing yourself. This is just some of the room entry stuff. That's one of our officers who was role-playing a subject that was going to draw a weapon. So just to show how quickly someone can do that. Again, the first slide. The first 2 slides is when the investigative unit went. That door is a reinforced door. They discussed techniques in terms of clearing doors and clearing rooms. Then the next slide there was the team entry. Some of the other officers, The CPD provided all of the mask and the groin and ear protection, and we just brought our duty gear and the ammo to do it. They use a simunition round, so if you made a bad decision, you had a mark to take home to remind you. It's better to take a sim round on your arm than take a real round in active duty. That's all right.
And I certainly want to thank our Deputy Chief Banks, Patterson, Neal, and Thomas for constantly implementing 21st century policing strategies so that we can continue to keep our citizens safe. There was a concern with respect to the Harvey Police and Fire pensions. I read an article this week that kind of spoke at length about the issue that the state of Illinois and local municipalities are having with respect to the funding of retirement plans. I kind of took issue with the reporting because the writers made note of the difficulties faced by the city of Harvey. They did, however, note that Harvey was by no means alone in the struggle. Harvey is not alone in this crisis. Over 30% of local police and fire pension funds have less than half the money they need on hand today to pay out future benefits. So the state of Illinois is embattled in $267 billion pension crisis of its own. So this article is actually behind what I have discussed with my administration and to the comptroller. Harvey must look at ways to be fair with our employees that have contributed to the retirement fund, but also be fair to our taxpayers that also pay into that fund. I'm looking at ways to shift the retirement plans to benefit towards defined contribution plans where employees can choose an option that will control their own retirement plans. So again, we're working on those deferred compensation and financial planning to better educate the employees of the great city. So we are certainly ahead of that particular article, and certainly want to thank Alderman Price, who gave me a call so that we could start the research relative to the pension crisis. I want to thank you for your time. This time, I certainly want to thank the citizens for coming out, and hopefully informational. Time to move to ordinance 3357, ordinance making appropriate for corporate purposes of the city department for its fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2017 and ending April 30th, 2018. This is the second reading with the pleasure of council. Motion to approve ordinance. There's a motion on the floor. Second. Move to second. Roll call.
On ordinance number 3357, Alderman Lewinsky. No. Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Clark. Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
Alderman Price.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Motion carried.
This time we move to Resolution 2828, a resolution authorizing the City of Harvey Homeowners Community to transfer the property located at 224 East 159th Street. This is the second reading. Mr. President, Council.
This was the second reading. Did the information that was supposed to get turned in ever get turned in to you, Mr. Luster?
Yes, sir.
We don't have a copy of it.
That should be in your packet. It should be in your packet. It was at the EDC committee.
I don't have one.
I make the motion.
I have all the copies. I have all the copies that was attached to the crazy 80 pages worth of documents we got. And no, that paperwork was not present.
Can we pass this? Can you get that, what he submitted at least? Because I don't recall seeing it. Okay. And all we were asking for was a letter.
and the cost of the property and what his proposal was.
This is, well, he had agreed on the price of the property.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was ready.
Because I thought it was 12, and then it went down to 7. And
No, he tried to go to 12, and he stayed at, I think he stayed at, was it 12, 15?
Yeah, I know there was some discussion in that last, in that last meeting.
And the whole key about that is the amount of property taxes that
Right,
property.
you did say that, right, you did say that.
So if you want, that's the vote. Just want to at least have a lot because it should be
Can we move on to the next one?
Well, here's okay, what we'll do is we'll move to resolution 2830. We'll come back. 2830, from the City Hall, we amended resolution 2810. It's kind of tied in for application to assessment of Cook County for Class A certification. What's the pleasure of the council? This is kind of tied into first one, so.
Point of order. That one was really confusing because last time Mr. Lester said that it was an amendment and then it was amending to the one we did previous in June, and yet we have a new resolution number to it, and then in the EDC it showed amendment to the resolutions. So I don't know what 2830 actually is. I mean, that's just a bunch of PIN numbers, and in the previous meeting it said it was amended, and yet what was on the EDC meeting, the amended ones, is not listed on the actual agenda. So there's an error here somewhere. So I don't know who made that error or what, but the information is not clear on this agenda.
on that resolution.
On this, right, but on this particular agenda for tonight.
Okay, are you speaking of, I'm sorry, but was this the resolution that came that I told that didn't have the address on it?
This is new PIN numbers. This is new PIN numbers that apparently was approved in another resolution in June. And then it appeared as a new resolution for 2830 when Mr. Lester said last time that it was an amendment to a previous resolution.
Which was 2810.
But none of that is listed on this agenda, so it doesn't flow. None of this is flowing properly.
Alderman, if you received the proper PIN numbers on this resolution, the proper thing would be to do would be to approve it with all the correct PIN numbers. It says on this agenda that there's a PIN that's being added. So the one that you approved before, again, this is only allowing them to go to Cook County and apply for the Class A. So this resolution would have all of the proper PIN numbers, and we can pass it until Mr. Luster comes back and you can ask him. But the proper thing to do would be to approve an entire new resolution with all of the PIN numbers. And that, from my review, is what this is. It's all of the PIN numbers that they need approved so that they can go to Cook County and apply for the Class A.
Okay, because the previous time he said he's amending it.
He's amending it to add a PIN number that was left off. So what, instead of amending it, you're just doing a whole nother resolution that will allow the gentleman to go to Cook County and apply for the Class A for all of the PIN numbers that he needs approved. That is what this is.
Chair recognizes.
Does that mean that should be stated in the
Well, the other one would be then null and void because the one that you approved before does not have all of the PIN numbers. This one was adding the PIN numbers that were not added the first time. And again, this will just allow him to go to Cook County and fill out the paperwork to actually get the Class A.
Okay.
But he couldn't do that without all the PIN numbers listed.
Okay, may I, since the PIN numbers listed on here are not the same PIN numbers listed on this resolution. The PIN numbers listed on this is...
What is this? You mean the agenda?
Wait, right, on the agenda here.
The agenda has the address, not the PIN
it just
numbers.
has address.
The agenda is listing the street address. The resolution has to list the PIN numbers because that's what's required by Cook County.
Oh, I see.
So what
Okay,
you're
I see
looking
what
at
you're
is
saying.
just, they're adding a PIN number.
Yes.
That's what is happening with this resolution.
Okay, I see.
You okay?
I'm fine with it. Now that you clarified and you say that that's the normal procedure
Yes.
instead of amending it,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2830.
Motion on the floor. Second. Move the second. Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
yes.
Alderman Whittington. Alderman Key. Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2831. The resolution of the City of Harvard, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing Class A property tax abatement for Charlotte. Second reading. What's the pleasure of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2831.
Second. Move the second. Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
Alderman Price.
Yes.
Mayor Kellogg.
Yes.
I know I have.
Next is Resolution 2832, a resolution of the City of Harvey, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing Class A property tax abatement for the property located at 15601 Commercial, 156 Commercial Avenue. This is the second reading. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move that we accept resolution 2832.
Motion on the floor.
Point of order. On this particular one, unlike Sharks, we had their plan. What is their plan for this commercial LLC? What are they planning on doing? Why are they getting the Class A?
You'd have to ask Reverend Mercer for that. I don't know.
Okay, because see,
You know, we did have
that's,
Sharp's plan, though, right?
yeah, we got Sharks
Okay,
plan.
okay.
Yeah, I don't understand why they got the video. I mean, but you know, normally when we decided to do these Class A property tax, they were going to give us some logic behind it, what they're planning on doing, and we're not getting that. We're just saying that give them a Class A, and we have no idea what they're trying to do with the reduction of their taxes.
You're speaking on resolution 2832, right?
Right now, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
Right, because you keep saying there, like, it's multiple, because Sharks definitely gave.
Right, Sharks had one, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But there's a couple more that we don't have. That we don't have what they're planning on doing. We just have, they want a tax A. I mean, a Class A. I get them confused, so bear with me. But there's no reason to who, why, what, why they're getting them. No, we're past that, sir. I'm talking about 2832. There's no reason why they want a Class.
We can probably go ahead and come back to this.
Well, that applies to quite a few of them here. So, I mean, even verbally, if there's, I mean,
I agree with Joe. Let me skip that.
Well, this next one is a 6B.
the Class 1 is the 6.8, and that was on the one before, so we're 2833. Yeah, that one was, Yeah, they have to do that with their expansion with, so I make a motion, we accept resolution 2833.
Second that.
Move second, roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
All right.
Motion carries.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at, Alderwoman Lewinsky, do you, if you could take a look at, resolution 2832, if you look at, some of the verbiage regarding, where it talks about whereas, Cook County Board of Commissioners, and it talks about the purpose of encouraging and assisting redevelopment, new development in areas of Cook County. So, just take a look at that, and I'll come back after we, deal with 2833.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2834.
2834. Okay.
There's a motion, move second, roll call.
To suspend the rules for 2834, Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
And Alderman Price.
Yes.
Rules suspended.
Move that we accept resolution 2834.
Second motion.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
And Alderman Price.
All right.
Motion carried.
Move that we accept suspend the rules, resolution 2835.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky for resolution 2835, suspend the rules.
Okay, wait a minute. I do, yeah, that's fine.
That's the church. Yeah.
No, this is dental.
Yes.
No, that's
Their own dental office.
Yeah, 2835 is the church. The Christ Miracle.
That is the church. For the lot. For the lot. Yeah, I'm cool with suspending the report.
Yeah, I said, I don't care about that.
Okay. Alderwoman Lewinsky.
We're on at resolution 2835 to suspend the rules.
Excuse me. Okay. Let's try to,
Lewinsky.
so the motion was to suspend the rules?
Yes. Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
Alderman Price.
All right.
Rules suspended.
Move that we accept resolution 2835.
Point of order.
Yes.
Got a question on this one.
Mayor, you need a second or to finish the motion.
There was,
Oh,
there was a middle roll call.
Okay.
You have a motion, but not a second.
Yeah,
We
Price
had
second.
a roll call.
Yeah, I thought he did. That's why because we do the motion, we want to discuss it, we do it before the vote, right?
Right.
Okay, as long as okay, on here, on their plan that they have listed it as Christ Miracle Healing Center Church. Now, is this a church, a nonprofit, or is it going to be like a center?
It's a big lot.
Yeah, it's vacant lot. But,
Well, I know why they want it. Are they?
I didn't get anything that it was gonna be a sign. I thought it was healing you from, possible wrongdoing in your life.
Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, I was just wondering because it
Yeah,
says
healing center as a spiritually.
spiritually, but it says church here.
Yeah, it's a church. It's a small lot on the side of the church.
All right.
Pleasure. Over here.
I move that we accept.
Got a motion in a second.
Okay, Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No, I don't know. We're on resolution.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
For the church, right? That's
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
Alderman Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Nesbit,
Yes.
Alderman Price.
Yes.
Motion carries.
What's the pleasure of the council? Do you want to go back and entertain the resolution, I believe it was 2828, with regard to the information that was lacking now, the new information that was turned in to the council?
We got 28, yeah, 28.
So, the council would like to return back to resolution 2828, because now you have the information that you requested.
Resolution 2828 was a marine and diesel mechanic who had the spot on 150th and Halsted for years. He had been paying rent. The owner obviously wasn't paying taxes. He was made to move. He was willing to pay $15,000, then he asked for 12. I can't remember if we settled on 12 or 15. That's the only thing I don't remember. I think it was 12. And the gentleman, the taxes that building will be pulling is pretty high. And I mean, I'm definitely for giving the gentleman a chance to further his business, because I have also seen over the years, like him helping children and seniors. So I mean, I make a motion to accept.
Did he come to your committee?
Yes, sir. He did all that.
There's a motion on the floor.
To accept 2828.
Move the second.
Point of order.
Roll call.
Do we take the vote first, or can I ask a question?
Okay, Alderwoman Lewinsky.
May I ask my question? Okay, I was all for this until I read his note, and I agree with the taxes, and I thought it was supposed to be a facility, but according to what he's putting on here, contrary to what I was aware of, it's a training site. He's doing a training site.
No, he said that he will train children to
Wait,
work
is this
on
a
cars
school?
as well. No, it's not a school.
Okay,
It's a business.
I think all businesses have some type of training component.
He said that was one of the things
No,
he
on the
would
contrary,
mind.
not when you're training you.
I beg to
Because
differ.
I beg to differ
I beg to
too.
differ. The city of Harvard, we bring in young students from Thornton High School all the time.
Oh, I
We use this
understand.
as a training facility.
But there's limits. You have to be 18 years old in order to use certain equipment.
The bottom line is
That's
we're
fine. I
trying to
just have
provide
one vote,
training
sir.
for the
Oh,
youth
yeah,
of
one
Rockaway
vote.
City.
That's
Roll
fine.
call.
No.
Alderman Whittington,
No.
Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Nesbit,
Aye.
Alderman Price.
All right.
Thank you very much. Motion carried.
Now, we had also passed on resolution 2832. You had a question you want to ask Mr. Luster? That was the one about the LLC, the Class A property tax abatement, Mr. Wayne?
I had a question for him. I had a question for the EDC council meeting, so we could ask him. I'm here, Mr. Mayor, you said you had a point, whereas you asked me to make a mental note of that. Whereas the commercial property, Commercial Avenue LLC requested the city by resolution grant for a Class A tax benefit program. Is that what you wanted me to reference?
Well, actually, my concern was that this particular business with respect to resolution 2832 would meet the necessary stipulations and guidelines associated with this particular resolution in terms of the continuation of a business expansion. I don't know, Reverend Luster, this particular, she had concern about the LLC. Well, this is about
There's no,
business expansion or what?
Yes, this is a business plan, just so that you know, for most businesses in this climate, especially in Southern Cook County, good evening, Brother Mayor, to the Alderman, Alderwoman, and to the citizens, great citizens of Harvey. 15600 Commercial LLC, although the business is doing business under that name, is an extension or expansion of LB Steel. The LB Steel, in order for them to do the expansion, they're seeking the tax relief. If y'all want to know what it is, that old rock quarry over there, they purchased it in July. And in order to do the major repairs that are needed to clean it up, straighten it up, and to expand their property, they have to clear out all that old gravel, all that old stone. They've already partnered with the city of Harvey to use the gravel that has been put there to break it down and use so we can use as backfill and as needed, as required. So 15600 Commercial LLC is really just a subsidiary of LB Steel and their expansion project in that region.
Okay, my question, which really, all that could have been listed on here, like all these other resolutions have attached to paperwork, just to let us know what is going on. All this
about this approximately 3 years ago, but I know Reverend Luster has been in touch with them constantly.
Okay, can I finish the roll call then? Go ahead. Alderman Williams.
Wasn't there 2 bids for that area, putting 2 resolutions on there?
Only one got sent to the council.
Only one? I thought it was 2.
No, not for this. Not for this, not for LBC.
Okay, Alderman Whittington, I'm sorry, I didn't get your vote.
I voted no because it was spoken 2 resolutions. And my question about
What 2 resolutions are you speaking?
there was another businessman here talking about the same problem.
Yeah, but we didn't.
But again, that's the purpose of the economic development committee.
It's another.
I'm with you.
Is to vet various businesses and then send those particular businesses that they vet to the whole body.
I'm with you.
So
I just said it's on my notes on that day. I thought it was 2.
Okay, Alderman Key.
Okay.
Alderman Key.
yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Bryce.
Yes.
Motion carried.
37.
No, 36.
36.
This is the house on Myrtle, correct?
Yes.
I make a motion to suspend the rules. This also has to do with the project over
Cornet Village.
Cornet, right?
Yes.
Which was promised years ago.
Yes, 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Need a second?
I got the motion.
Second. Roll call.
No.
No.
what is,
Alderwoman Lewinsky on resolution 2836. I'm sorry, 2836.
was there somebody motioned it second?
The motion second, and we're asking for roll call. Suspend the rules.
Yeah.
Oh, to suspend the rules, yes. That's what I thought it was.
Okay, Alderman Whittington to suspend the rules. Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
Alderman Price.
Aye.
Rules suspended.
Motion to accept resolution 2836.
Second. So moved. Roll call.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion carried.
Move that we suspend the rules 2837.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes, did we come up with a price that you said? Mr. Chairman?
No, we did not. We can still put a price on it.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
And Alderman Price.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Rules suspended.
Let me just add that resolution 2037 be passed with the stipulation of adding price.
And generally, in the past, the price has been the closing costs, Alderman, which would be the title search fee and any attorney's fees connected to the sale or transfer. That's what this body has done in the past.
Okay, with that recommendation, I'll give my vote yeah.
Okay, but it has to,
So our motion to accept resolution 2837.
okay,
With those stipulations on the fees.
okay then.
Second. Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky with the stipulations. Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
38. I move that we suspend the rules 2838.
Second.
Roll call.
For resolution, for suspension of the rules for 2838, Alderman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Yes, I make a motion to approve resolution 2838 with the stipulation that there will be no container storage on that property.
Second.
Second roll call.
Second.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
And Alderman Price.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution 28 on the list. 2839.
Yeah, I move that we suspend the rules.
Is that the right address?
Yes.
310?
It's 301, I'm
I thought it
sorry.
was 301, that's what I'm saying, it's 301.
301.
So the motion needs to clarify the right address.
Okay, I thought you was gonna do that for me. Okay, with the stipulation, for the address being 301 East 152nd Street, resolution 2839 for rule suspension.
And we suspend the rules, but there's also two people.
Yeah, the chair recognizes
This is the one.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Chairman said. Yeah. It's two resolutions. Yeah.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Don't definitely suspend the rules.
This, okay, Nesbitt said motion, but I don't have a second.
Key said.
Oh,
Roll call.
for suspension of rule, Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
Alderman Price.
Yes.
Rule suspended.
There's two differences.
The address.
Need a motion for passage. What's the pleasure of the council?
Motion.
Right, you got two different ones, so.
Motion to transfer the property at 301 East 152nd Street to ARPA Express.
Second.
Is that resolution?
Let the record reflect that the new address change was 301. And with those particular stipulations, there's a motion, been moved and second, roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
This is resolution 2839, correct?
2839.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Yes.
Alderman Price.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I
Motion
make a
carried.
motion. Wait a minute, got another vote. Make a motion that, the property be transferred to Full Court.
There's a motion on the floor.
Which resolution?
It was two.
It was two.
The same address.
There was a motion on the floor.
And I'll second. I don't know what we're doing here.
There was two businesses. And there needs to be a motion and a second so that we can bring forth the second business, which
Okay.
is poultry, I believe.
I'll make the motion to,
Are they gonna do a presentation, sir?
I believe they did a presentation at the,
No, they didn't.
It was done.
I believe they did at the economic development.
Okay, I would just like to say for the record, I need to know what is this you're bringing on. I need to know what's going on, because I don't have it. What is the resolution?
You don't have it?
What's the
It's the
number?
same property.
What's
Two
changed?
people going for the same property.
It's the same property. We already voted first.
But you already voted for one.
No, they voted for one, but if it's two parcels, then in fairness, they have to, number one, if it's two parcels, they should have to decide which one they're gonna.
But is it on the agenda? That's what I don't understand.
It's only one parcel.
It should be on the agenda.
It's one parcel, there's two people that were willing to pay all the money. Right. So it's just an issue of a roll call.
Which
What
resolution?
was the second business that won? What was the name of it? Pole trailer?
Pole trailer.
Okay.
Okay, so is this the same resolution 2839? That's all I'm
It would be
saying.
to transfer the property, but whichever one basically got the votes would be the one that ended up getting. Is how I thought it would go. Well,
But in all fairness, if it's two,
it's right.
then we at least need to take pole trailer to a vote, see if
But that's, I just thought of that. You guys already voted. And it already passed, so with Alderman Price, unless he wants to take back his motion, then I'll take back mine because.
Somebody's got to rescind their motion.
Yeah, that was all.
And their second, and then the motion needs to be in the affirmative. So whichever one you're going to vote for, you need to make a motion to approve A or B.
They did.
But I'm saying you can take it back if that's not the one you wanted to vote for.
we need to rescind the motions.
Nothing to rescind.
Okay, so there's those one.
So Alderman Price, you're not rescinding yours?
So let me ask the question. If we're not gonna rescind, then why do we have two businesses? If we're not gonna, vote, at least give the appearances if we're being fair, so that there won't be any discrimination against both businesses that were vetted.
That was the whole purpose. The motion was made for the property to transfer over to Arco Express. And voted.
That happened at the,
We just voted on it.
They just voted on it.
Apparently, both of them were allowed to come to the city council.
Right.
From the EDC.
okay, but I guess my question is, if both of them were allowed, then we should at least vet it out so that we can make a determination which one we're gonna vote for, as opposed to having two documents and only one get voted on.
That's fair.
So we should vote on this document as well, or vote. But
And this one actually needs a resolution number, and see, this is what I'm saying. It's not even,
There's only one resolution there. The resolution was for the company that was just already approved. This pole trailer doesn't have a resolution, and there is no resolution on the agenda.
So,
I'm just saying, that's what it
But what
is.
should have happened, there should have been resolution for both of them.
But there wasn't.
Okay. But
I'm just saying there wasn't, so
But
if you want to take...
it's not Pole Trailer's fault that there wasn't a resolution.
I'm not suggesting that it's anyone's fault. What I'm saying is, if it was the intent of the board to pick one or the other, what needs to be done is for that resolution to be, those motions to be rescinded. We cannot amend the agenda and vote at the same meeting. The next meeting would need to have both resolutions, and the board could then decide which one they were going to select. At this point, that's all we can do, because there's only one resolution on the agenda this evening. That's all we can do right now. Can't put it on the agenda tonight and vote on it.
But there's a representative. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's a representative. Yes.
I was listening to
What I said was that there is no resolution for the second company. What is the name of the second company? Read it again. Pole Trailer does not have a resolution on the agenda this evening. The agenda this evening is a resolution to approve the other company, which is the name of yes. So therefore, as I just said, the board would need to, if in fact it is their desire to look at another company, the board would have to rescind what they did tonight, because what they just did was to approve the other company to get the property. So that's all that could be done tonight, is that they could make a motion to amend the agenda, adding the second resolution to the agenda, and at the next meeting, vote on one or the other. That's all that we can do tonight because it's not on the agenda. The law does not allow them to amend the agenda and vote on it at the same meetings, right? So that's where we are at this point.
They will come back next.
They would both come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
If in fact they would rescind what they did this evening, because right now what they've done is approve the other company to get the property. So if that is not taken back, then it is what is. So that would be my suggestion.
I agree with the
What's the pleasure, council?
So when it comes to motion resolution 2839, that's not Arco Express written on the resolution. Neither name was voted on the resolution. I propose that we transfer the property to Arco Express. And that's what we voted on.
Can we get some background on ARPA?
Who got the background?
Background on ARPA.
They have a representative, but it was all in the package.
Right.
Where are you currently located?
Markham.
Okay. I was privy of the economic development meeting. Can you give me some background on this company?
Sure, it's a for-hire truckload carrier, and we're looking to expand our operations into Harvard.
What's the timeline in terms of you turning that property around?
6 months to 8 months.
Have we looked at the finance?
I believe they looked at the finance.
Looked at the finance?
What about what the attorney said, to give us both a chance to,
But no one will rescind.
Well, the only thing that can happen this time, Mr. Jones, is someone would rescind their vote. To give you an opportunity, you know, to give you an opportunity to,
I know I made a motion to approve to get a vote on the second company as well as what I did, which is what they're saying is not the same thing.
No, because he voted for Arco. They were voting around, it passed. Then he motioned after he voted for this company, then motion
to see
if that other one goes, and I seconded it. But no one will rescind, so it goes to... But they won't.
That got to be the person that first or second.
Right.
That's not happening.
It's not happening, so we just got to move on.
So we got, this is, spoke to Arco.
Full trailer.
Full trailers.
Full trailer is Mr. Jones.
Actual person from
Yes.
So I'm a concerned citizen, and I think it's only fair that you get both sides out, and you can have a honest opinion of both sides, and then make a conscious decision.
But
Thank you, sir.
Point of order?
Mr. Wisdom.
May I make a suggestion, just send back to committee and hash out this again.
But it already came out of committee.
First of all, we're going to allow those two individuals to speak, and then we respect the process.
Thank you.
We certainly would, the only way that we can get a second option would be vote trailer. If someone rescinds their votes. Are any members of the council prepared to rescind their vote?
I do think the council, though, does have to make an adjustment to the motion because in this resolution, it doesn't say which company is to be involved. There is an attachment, but to be clear for the record.
Okay. All right, moving forward, so that the motion would be correct. We have two companies, Pole Trailers, and the second company is ARC. So for the record, when we vote, you have to be very clear on ARC and Pole Trailers. So we need a motion.
You have to be, the motion was to approve resolution 2839.
He clearly said what he was.
Okay, for the record,
Just for the record, to make
For
sure
the
it's
record.
correct.
For the record, we're asking that we be clear on the motion and the second relative to the name of the company, so that we can add that into the minutes. If in fact there's any, yeah, we can do it again. I'm sorry, I missed that.
When it comes to resolution 2839, I propose to have the property at 301 East 152nd Street transferred to Arco Express Incorporated.
That's exactly what he said. And everyone voted. Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay. I did.
Move to resolution 2041.
No.
2840. I'm sorry. Yes.
I just want to try to make sure we're clear. We have another property too that on the resolution that has two people that are on the property. So what do we do for those? How we came to that?
Do it the same way.
We're going to come across the same issue in a moment.
It's just like that. And then it won't be two properties, same one more.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move that we suspend the rule for resolution 2840.
Second.
Board second, roll call.
Suspension of rules, 2840, Alderman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington. Aye. Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Yes.
Rules suspended.
I move that we accept resolution 2840.
Second.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move that we suspend the rule for 2841, resolution 2841.
Second.
Move second, roll call.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Aye.
Rules suspended.
I move that we accept resolution 2841.
Second.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
No.
Alderman Whittington.
No.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Aye.
And Alderman Price.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next one.
I make a motion to suspend the rules for resolution 2842.
Second.
Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Yes.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt. Suspending.
Yes.
Alderman Price.
Aye.
Motion carried. 2842.
Nelson.
For two on that property.
Spirit. Nelson and Spirit.
Harvey Spirit Store.
Harvey Spirit.
Nelson Harvey Spears. Are both companies here tonight?
I know exactly which one that is. That was Nelson.
Are both companies here?
Yes.
Okay.
Harvey Spears is here.
Harvey Spears. I was back.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening, City Council. Good evening, Harvey residents.
Yeah, I just want to, what do you propose to put in there?
Excuse me?
What do you propose?
I am proposing to put in there to resell used appliances, clothing, anywhere from kids' toys all the way to appliances and furniture to the local community in Greater Land of Chicago.
How many jobs associated with that?
About 15 jobs, of which are going to be 10 of Harvey residents and other 5 of people from outside the town.
Have they submitted your financials?
Yes, sir.
So, just the fairness, what's the other company?
Nelson Glass.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. Give your name and position.
Okay, my name is Talib Tandil, and I own Nelson Glass. I'm not in this neighborhood for too long and this community too long, but it doesn't matter how long it is. I love.
Oh wait, let's back up. Okay. I want to be clear. You said you're not in this neighborhood.
I wasn't in this community for so long because I'm a new owner of Nelson Glass. I'm not the same owner, because a lot of people maybe realize that Nelson Glass has been here for 93 years and we continue the same name and we're running the same name, but we are not the same first owners, but we are the new owners over here. We moved here not too long ago, but we love this community and we try to be in it, and we try to improve some stuff that we can improve for ourselves and for the community if we can. They're building 229. We try to do some granite business in it. It's a great opportunity for the community to be working with us too. We try to get at least 70% of our employees from the community. We're gonna use a lot of water because these machines that we use, it's work with jet. It's not cutting regular, but it works by cutting water. Actually, the pressure of the water is to cut the granite. So we're gonna use a humongous amount of water. And we're gonna generate a lot of taxes because the sales is huge in it. So maybe we could improve some of it. We're gonna make the building look absolutely different. Maybe some kind of electronic signs to it too. It's in downtown, so we believe it has to look good. Whatever needs to be done on that building, we're willing to do. And I hope with your help and with everybody's help, we could do that business.
You said you've been in Harvey
2 years now.
And your family been in Harvey with businesses?
32 years. 32 years.
42?
32.
32.
32.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank both of you guys.
Thank you.
This time we have council.
There was prices that they were talking. One offered the price, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, one offered the price of, I think it was 40,000, and the other one just said, the price is open, or something like that. But I took the opportunity to ride past the back of Nelson Glass. Really don't like how the back up in there looks. I mean, my motion for resolution 2842 will be with Harvey Spirit.
Second. Motion moved, second, roll call.
For approval, I'm sorry.
No, we already suspended.
The rules were already suspended. Okay. For approval, you,
Yes.
Price. Second
It's
that.
40, I don't know what the other one.
I second. They're gonna put the stipulation in the language.
Okay. This will be developed.
Yes, I believe.
Alderwoman Lewinsky?
No.
No for what?
Hey, all.
You gotta pick a customer.
This is development or will they actually buy it?
They're buying.
Except resolution. You have to accept it. It's next.
Alderman Whittington?
Yes.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Aye.
And Alderman Price?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Can I change my, my vote?
Yes.
I would like to change it, yes. I just found it.
Okay. Right, it was, I definitely.
Yeah, I instead of going through it, I did have it, and then I didn't
You changed that to a yes, because I'm just doing.
Yeah, I did change it to a yes. Yeah, it was in here, and it was just misfiled.
Motion carried for Resolution 2842.
Last one is resolution 2843, first reading. What's the pleasure of the council?
We on 43.
What's the pleasure of the council? Resolution 2843.
Motion to suspend the rules.
There's a motion.
Second. Move.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Lewinsky?
Suspend the rules, yes.
Alderman Whittington?
Suspend the rules, yes.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Nesbitt?
This was suspended.
Price?
Yes.
Motion denied.
Yeah, that's the 3 no's.
Motion denied.
At this time, we move to petition and communications. We have the reports by the Alderman Lewinsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Everyone needs to take a breather. I'm going to be very brief tonight. I want to thank all the residents who reached out to me from the last council meeting to the present. I want to say I really appreciate the warm sentiments, so thank you. And Mr. Mayor, 4 years ago, I came before the City Council and I spoke about a lady who turned 100 years old, Mrs. McCander. Mrs. McCander was born and raised in Harvey, raised her family, established her business, never left Harvey in her entire life. So she really seen Harvey from 104 years ago. Well, Mrs. McCander passed away last week. So I want to extend my sympathies to the McCander family and say, Mrs. McCander, you bring the smiles. We had Santa went to go visit her when she turned 99 years old. And as God is my witness, she got up and she danced with Santa. And she said that was the first time she ever danced with Santa. So rest in peace, Mrs. McCander. God bless. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Certainly want to send out our condolences to the McCander family, and if in fact you can relay a message, has the funeral taken place already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we certainly want to send a card to the family. So I'll ask Ms. Lewis if you get a card and get it to the family.
Thank you. She passed away and they right away had the service.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. Alderman Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to my colleagues, and to the citizens of Harvey. My comments will be brief. I would like to give credit to the young workers that are cutting up the, cleaning the grass, and cutting down the bushes. And I want to commend them because I watched those guys working very well. I'm concerned about some of our alleys, not so much about the dumping, about some residents are not disposing of their own trash. I'm requesting that someone go to the alleys and look at the garbage from people that's dumping out of their house. I have asking for on the ditch on the street side, not in the ditch, on the street side, if those young guys could go by there, just trim that. That's a big disaster, that's all. I guess my report.
Certainly, I'd just like to, again, last city council meeting, I was irritated. I said some things that really wasn't coming to me, and I certainly want to apologize.
Okay, I received that.
This time moves to all the keys of the fourth ward.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for everybody coming out. Mine's going to be real brief. You know, thank you for everybody showing up today and the concern that we have for the city. And I think we're moving in the right direction. And, you know, I would like to keep it that way. And outside of that, I was going to send my prayers out to the people that's in Houston. By coincidence, you know, my daughter just is a freshman in college and she's down in Houston. So, and the hurricane is called Hurricane Harvey. So, you know, it has affected me a lot. One of my aunties, she's a bus driver. She was stranded on a bus with one passenger. And they were stranded for like 7-8 hours, and some volunteers came and got them out. And my auntie's diabetic, so they got there before she needed her medicine and insulin. So I just want to say that that's a good example of teamwork. And it doesn't matter, you know, black, white, whatever nationality it is. These people out there helping each other. So I want to commend them, and I like to see that, you know, we do the same thing in Harvey in case something like this ever happens. And we have our own disaster. Well, we've been having our own disaster here in the city, but I think things just come together. So I just want to, you know, everybody keep that in mind to see the example that they're setting and just keep things moving in the city. Thank you.
Yes. Two things. Thank you all. Generally, when disaster hits, whether it's in our country or out of our country, the city of Harvey always put together some type of package to assist in that particular country or state's crisis. So there will be no different from us trying to put together something for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. So we will certainly be putting together some type of funds to assist with the those in Houston. And we'll start working on that tomorrow. Also, I'm very proud of the fact that School District 147, under the leadership of Mr. Bonnie Rather as the president, and the new superintendent did a phenomenal job in terms of organizing back to school, like a celebration, really like a pep rally to welcome the kids. I would ask Mrs. Raddick, President Raddick, talk about that, please.
Mayor, I can't say enough. I am so happy. All right, I appreciate your meeting. Everyone was excellent. This has been a perfect day for me, and I think it was because you, the mayor, the alderman, Ms. Daphne Hilson, many of the community leaders were there. It was about 100 of us, and the kids got off the buses, and they were like, and then their smiles as we were giving them high fives and welcoming them to school. It was a wonderful experience. I see Sister Beverly over here. We've been going to 147 a long time, as the mayor has, and to see all of these leaders welcoming those kids. You could see the smiles on their faces. It was a wonderful start. It was a wonderful start for my day, and this has been a wonderful end. Thank you guys so much. Your whole administrative team was there. We love you. And I want to say, we want to keep our kids in this vein, and so I'm going to talk to the superintendent in the morning and let them know about your effort for Texas, and we want to join in and let our children do something to add in. And to Alderman Key, I know your spirit. This man has an imaginary umbilical cord with that daughter of his. He has raised her well, and he sent her to Texas to school, and Harvey followed her. But I said to you the other night, and I meant it because I have a daughter in Texas, and when your child leaves you, and you can't reach out and touch when they need you, you learn to pray and put it in God's hands. I told you she was going to be all right. Just trust God.
Yes. Just want to shout out to some of our directors and superintendents, Rick Seven and the street department, Mr. Fisher, Andre, and team of the water department, and doing an outstanding job. The police department, excellent job. Appreciate that. I wish I could do more for you guys, but I can't. But I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman of the Great Six Ward. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. I was supposed to bring a stack of papers today. It was about all the unpaid taxes in Hardin. A lot of these resolutions you heard us vote on today were hitting properties that's been abandoned for years, and we haven't been getting any tax dollars from them back on the tax roll, which is one of the ways that we're going to help our city. This paper that I was going to bring, it was published in the Citizen, and literally it was nothing less than about 8 pages of unpaid taxes on 11 by 17 paper that we were not collecting in Harvey. And I've said it at multiple meetings that one of our biggest problems in Harvey is collecting tax dollars. It's very hard to give 100% service when you're collecting 50% of your taxes. It would be like if everybody's checks were just cut in half and you're trying to still accomplish everything that you need to accomplish. Some of us don't accomplish everything we need to accomplish with 100% of our check. We still have to rob Peter to pay Paul, is the saying we use. But I think we're headed in a great direction, getting a lot of these properties back on the tax roll. That's what I look forward to doing as the EDC chair. We will have very tight redevelopment agreements where if people are not getting these properties back on the tax roll in a timely fashion, that the city will take it back and somebody else will have an opportunity to start a business. This China Gateway project, I opened the door and saw all the big wigs in the room. I had just happened to, I was just rode up here on my bike after riding the bike, so I was sweaty and everything. I opened the door just to speak and saw all the big wigs from the county. We've been talking about this for approximately 2.5 years now. It looks like it's supposed to come to committee and get voted on at the next meeting. These are the things that's going to help Harvey as a whole, when you can generate these type of tax dollars from businesses and give job opportunities. And you know, we collect from water, the lights, the telecommunications tax. That's just what I look forward for us to rebound here. I wanted to just speak on the sugar tax, which was done by Queen Sugar as her new nickname. You know, they can say it's about fighting diabetes, but I don't think the money is going to any type of diabetes research. And I just got a real problem with that, because what's next? The salt tax, they're gonna fight hypertension? You know, so it almost seems like taxation without representation almost to me. They can take this sugar tax anywhere they want to take it. To the candy bars, to the cakes, to whatever they want that has sugar in it. Right now it's just soap. I really don't like that, and I think that those politicians are taking advantage of people who are already taxed too much. The article that the mayor put up, I had called them, I was reading on Illinois policy, and they was talking about getting rid of the pensions, and a lot of municipalities are moving strictly to 401k. And so I said, man, you really need to read this article. It's a great article. I said, but what bothers me is they wanted to mention Harvey by name. But the article clearly said 30% or better of all municipalities are faced with this same problem, but they didn't name one. Now, those are the little things that I just try to get people to pay attention to. If 30% of the municipalities in Illinois are in the same situation as Harvey, why would they just name us? So, again, those are the things that really raised my eye. I told them it's a great article. I said, but here it is, they say 30%, but the only person they named is our city. So know that I believe people are trying to work together. I believe we are aggressively pursuing viable businesses that will help this city. And I really look forward to this China project, and we're waiting to hear back from Ricky Rockets. It was supposed to be after Labor Day, I think. So the Ricky Rocket project, we should hear back from them by after Labor Day, and hopefully we get that, and you just start seeing some positive things in Harvey that'll help everybody ease a little bit of their tax burden. But that's all I have, Mayor, and I thank everybody for coming out. That ends my report.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I just want to say briefly, I had the occasion to read the same article, and it talked about 80% of municipalities have underfunded. It's just that 30% are at 50% or lower, so it's way more grim than what you alluded to. I just wanted to say it's unfortunate that Illinois Policy.org would try to highlight Harvey, but that wasn't what the article was about. It was about everyone statewide is facing the same burden, and it's much grimmer than the 30% that have funded.
Appreciate that announcement. Now tomorrow, I'm asked my administrative team to meet at 11 o'clock so that we can begin to coordinate this Hurricane Harvey efforts. So at 11 o'clock, again, we can meet. Alderman Winston.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I would like to contribute $100 to those efforts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. At this time, we move to public participation.
Are we taking the advice of the corporate council to rescind, or what they do? The vote was carried. I didn't get an explanation. And then, if so, then what was the reason they were picked over us, over me? That was what I'm trying. I mean, what's the explanation for them being picked? I mean, can they say why they? I mean, was it rescinded? Was it rescinded, or?
Never got rescinded. It had supposed to be rescinded.
Okay, so then it carried. Okay, then why could you guys say why y'all picked them over? I mean, I invested 2 years in the project. Well, nobody even looking at the project when I,
So, we have to compare. Well, I look at my vision, what I see for the city, what I see what's best for the city. When we have a decent proposal, when I look over and compare the two, I have to make a decision on what I thought was best for the city.
I'm saying, in what swayed your decision on that? I mean, I was 2 years into the project, met with Reggie Greenwood, the first one that met with him and found out what it needed, how much money had to be paid back to the city. I mean, it was a whole slew of things that I prepared for this project. Recently received $2.5 million from the state of Illinois contract. So I mean, what was the reason that they would pick?
Well, so first of all, like I said, it was going to be my decision. But when I look at your proposal was not submitted at the time of.
Excuse me?
your proposal for the EDC meeting to be in? You didn't have your proposal in.
How could you say that when I met with the city over 2 years ago and put in a proposal? I brought my team in and met with the city's whole staff two years ago.
We never saw that. And then also, another thing that played a factor in it is that nobody from Pole Trailer is here.
I'm here. I'm representing Pole Trailer. Yeah, I'm here. What you mean? Wasn't nobody here for them at the last meeting? I mean, come on, man.
Well, sir, the decision had to be made, and I wasn't the only one that voted, but I'm still
But you sort of like led the vote, so I just want to know your explanation for, you know, what was the reason that you chose them over me? And because for 2 years I invested in this.
Like I said, so we voted on a lot of things, and nobody that I saw, all of them, whenever they vote yes or no, have to question and explain why they do what they do. Okay. All right. Now we got rid of this, we get other business. Okay, finished. All right,
I'm done.
And for the record, I don't think you led the vote. You just brought. Yeah. So
everybody's not going to be satisfied.
I'm here because I have a problem with the abandoned buildings, the garbage on the streets and the alleys, and you know, it's ridiculous. And I've been calling. It's been at least 4 months. The police don't come. They come when they get ready. People living in abandoned buildings. I have an abandoned house on the corner from me, and the house next to it is also vacant now, and it's been about almost a year. And the people that's in the abandoned building on the corner was using all the connecting their electric and all of this. With them not having any water, they've been dumping their feces on the street. They've been dumping their garbage. They went somewhere and grabbed garbage cans. The garbage cans are visible right down the street. 143 East 150th Street. I've been to city, I've been to the planning department. I've been getting a runaround. What's his name? Luster. He's come out. I've had them actually come and visually see. And it's like no one can do anything.
Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll put together a task force on the house fire.
And it has the no occupancy sign, and they still come there.
She came, she made the complaint, and she wanted us, we got 1,000 complaints. It's only a few inspectors, we got on top of it. The real estate came out, got the squatters out, locked up the house. Now they're cutting the grass, and actually the real estate just came and paid their fine today, and Friday, and today they paid their fine. So the real estate did come out. It wasn't on the city of Harvey. It was on the real estate. They left, I don't know if they left the house open, but the squatter broke in. She came and complained. But we got to take the complaints in order.
Okay, I understand that, but you're saying
as soon as we got to her complaint, we went out there, put a non-occupancy sign out there, we got on top of it, and then we found the real estate. The real estate came out and took care of everything. And that's it.
Well, 4 months ago, when I seen the people going in and out of the house and the house next door, I called the police. They watched the man come out the house, and they told me it was nothing they can do. And then they got a pit bull. I'm telling them about, they have a pit bull running loose around there. I have children. I have small children.
Are they in there?
Yes, they are there, and I can show you. I have video.
Well, let's do this. Moving forward. I didn't hear it tonight, right? At the end of the night, we're going to have a police officer go over there tonight to investigate, to find out what's the status of that particular property. We have an inspector here, and we have the deputy chief who can have a police car go over there to check out the status. So we don't have to wait too long. We can actually start tonight.
Okay.
If you wait around, we'll take care of it.
No problem. All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Alderman. I have a question
Talk to
about,
me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
about resolution.
You want me to come up? Oh, my name, Chappelle Hooks. You want my address or the address to the property?
No, ma'am, I just need for my paper, your name.
Chappelle Hooks. C-H-A-P as in Paul, E-L-L-E, Hooks.
I got you, thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Amr Saleh. I have a question regarding Resolution 2838. I was a business owner that surrendered a proposal to the city regarding obtaining that property from the city. And I would surrender it to Lester and to the Development Department back in 2015, asking about that property. But today, when you guys voted on it, you didn't mention that 2 businesses are asking for that property.
2838.
Yes.
When we voted on it at the EDC meeting, we only voted to send one. And that was LB Steel. And your brother and father was there. We only voted to send one. To the full council.
You just voted for one?
Voted to send one to the full council.
The only one that came up was the only one that we didn't vote for.
Because I've surrendered and everything for it, but I was under the impression it was better for 2 to go for 2, and it was today's going to be settled.
And you see, there was obviously some confusion with respect to companies.
You know, I was under the impression, because you guys are speaking of China and everything, and actually I had the proposal from a Chinese company for manufacturing construction equipment coming into that place that you guys want to tear down, that you're saying they're going to tear down the building. Yes, actually that building is in perfect shape. It just needs little touch-ups, and that building was going to be is going to be sustained for manufacturing of construction equipment from cranes, mini excavators, skid steers.
They said all that. You probably should have been the one doing the presentation at the EDC.
Okay.
Because when we voted at the EDC, we chose LB Steel because I also sat in a meeting 3 years ago with LB Steel when they first started redoing all the streets over there.
Right.
And looking forward to purchasing all that property. So because I knew that they were already there, established, and that they were going to expand their company,
right.
I just thought it would be terrible to stop them and landlocked when they're trying to expand.
All right. I appreciate your help.
Give your name and address, please.
My name is Frankie Williams at 15423 Claremont Court in the village. What you gonna do about the village with the people?
Well, as you can see, there's some house with respect to we're in the process actually of demolishing for the village. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Now that we had some action on that one particular house, I think it's only 2 or 3 families left.
Around about 8 families.
Okay, well.
And probably 300 families, but it's 8 families.
Yeah.